Peter and I might not be the most savvy shoppers. There's a lot of things we'll waste good money on. But when it comes to real estate, we love a good deal, and we especially love it when we can get a good deal for our clients.
But unlike when you're shopping at the store, there's no flyers that tell you when something is a great buy. So today we want to talk all about how to identify those exclusive deals that are on MLS that'll save you thousands of dollars.
Firstly, it's important to remember that if you're shopping for a good deal, you need to have a little bit of extra patience. Think of it like going shopping at Winners. You need to sift and sort in order to find those diamonds in a rough.
So let's jump right in with point number one, which is understanding the average days on market in your community and then filtering accordingly.
That's right. When people are starting their search, they're looking at new properties as they're listed. But there are some fabulous opportunities that lie in listings that have been sitting on the market longer than the average days on market for your area.
Absolutely. So to give you a perfect case study, here in the Durham region, our average days on market, while the market is competitive, is typically between 6 to 10 days. So if you're starting your filter for properties that have been on the market for 11 or 12 plus days, you're going to be constantly receiving new properties that didn't sell on their offer day or have been sitting on the market for a prolonged period of time. Now, there's a variety of reasons why that might be, but those are going to be stigmatized properties that other buyers aren't going to want to see because they're going to assume there's something wrong with it, giving you a much smaller buyer pool of competition, meaning you can get a better deal.
That's right, and on top of having a smaller buyer pool for these properties, you also have sellers that perhaps are frustrated or in a desperate situation to sell, so there might be a little more flexibility. The second way to spot a really great deal in the market is my personal favorite, and that's by looking at listings that have been marketed poorly.
With everybody starting their search for a home online, it's so important that a home shows well in the virtual world. The reality is the homes that are marketed poorly aren't going to get the same turnout of buyers that the ones that are marketed well will, and that just gives you a much better opportunity to get a deal for yourself.
Right, so when you're starting your search online, take a look at those properties that look like they've been shot on somebody's iPhone or are cluttered, unstaged, maybe they have terrible paint colors. Those are all really surface level things that detract buyers from actually going to see the property, but could mean a great opportunity or a deal for you.
Now, we've had so many scenarios where we've walked into a home and been so surprised because the way that it looks online is not representative of how nice it actually is in person. Now, realistically, not every home that you see that's marketed poorly is going to look better in person, but the ones that do are going to shock you, and typically those are where you're going to get a lot of savings. Opportunity number three, and this one isn't for the faint of hearted, but buying a property that currently is tenanted is a great way to save some money.
That's right. Tenanted properties often aren't maintained the same way that owner-occupied properties are, so they don't necessarily show as well online. And on top of that, there's often showing restrictions because you need 24 hours notice to show the property. So we're really limiting the amount of buyers that are going through these properties.
And on top of that, let's face it, there's a stigma around evicting tenants, and rightfully so, because it can be a very tedious process if you do have a bad experience. Many buyers don't want to take that risk on at all, which is why they completely avoid properties that are tenanted. But if you are planning on moving into it yourself or plan on having an immediate family member move in, as long as you're being honest about that, that could be a great way to get that tenant out and get yourself that property with some savings.
The next opportunity for a deal lies in properties that have been terminated, canceled, relisted, suspended, price changed. These are sellers that initially started their listing way too high and are now chasing the market.
And the frustration for these sellers can be immense. I mean, having to deal with showings for a prolonged period of time, having to live in a staged home, one that's going to be on the market and have people coming through on a daily basis is a huge hassle. And so for someone who's been sitting on the market for a longer period of time, they're going to want the process to be over with as soon as possible.
Right. So when you're starting your search, take a look at the listing history. See how many times it's been on the market, how many days overall, not just this current listing, but previous to this. This is a really great opportunity to catch a seller who is in a position where they need to sell.
Absolutely. Not all buyers are sellers, but most sellers are also buyers. They may be trying to line up a purchase, and if that's the case, you may be able to catch them at a time where they're really crunching numbers and need to get that sale done as soon as possible.
And our last opportunity for a deal is a really great one, but you need to have a ninja agent.
Yeah, and this is something that we do for our clients regularly, which is calling listings that have suspended or terminated and aren't showing signs of coming back to the market to see whether or not they're still interested in selling.
That's right. These sellers at one point wanted to sell and likely still do, and we don't know the circumstances behind why they pulled their house off of the market. So if we can contact that agent, find out if their sellers are still interested in selling without the hassle of going back onto the market and facilitating all of those showings or disruption to the seller's life, there's a really great opportunity there.
That's right. And as a buyer, you need to understand that you are offering a major convenience to these sellers, and there's definitely a price tag associated with that. So get into those negotiations, see what you can do for yourself, because you can save lots of money as opposed to competing with all the other buyers for that exact house.
Another really great opportunity to find a deal in the market, and these ones don't happen often, although they have happened for both Peter and myself when we purchased our own properties, was being the first one in the house. Sometimes you'll have an agent who's from a different board or from out of town and doesn't have a good grasp on the market value of properties in Durham and underprice a property without holding offers. And that's a really fabulous opportunity to come in quick, get pen to paper, put an offer in the seller's hand, and save yourself a lot of money as well as getting into competition.
That's right. Get in there, give the sellers what they're asking for, hold their feet to the fire, and make them make a decision. Many times they'll make a decision that's favorable to you depending on the advice that they're getting from their agent. But if you know the community, if you've been looking at it for a long time and you know for a fact that property is undervalued, go see it first, put in an offer, be the first one on the table, give them what they're looking for, and be done with it.
So these are the tips and tricks we use to spot deals for our clients in the real estate market.
If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel for more information just like this. And if you wanted to investigate these ideas further, feel free to book a call with either Jane or myself, and we can dive right into these topics. There's a link below in the description, so go check it out. Leave us a comment. Let me know what else you would like to see from the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.